About a month ago, I bought a Mustang off the side of the road. It's a beautiful car, but it's almost 60 years old, and as you can imagine, it's got its fair share of problems. There's way too much that needs to be fixed to do it all in one shot, so my goal is to take it piece by piece and eventually make this car 100%. Now, it does run and drive the way that it is, but if you're like me, you like to add your own custom touches to make your vehicle yours. To heck with fixing the mechanical issues this car has, we need to do some appearance mods first, like the wheels and the exhaust. This car does have some serious vibrations though, and it could be due to the wheels being imbalanced. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of that in this video. So I went ahead and picked up some new wheels and a new exhaust system. We're gonna restore the wheels, mount them up, and then we'll put the exhaust system on. But as we all know, typically a job that we think is gonna take 1 hour usually ends up in finding more problems, and it just always takes a lot longer.
Oh man, this thing is ruined.
Well, enough wasting time, let's get into it. Well, I've discovered that the car is waterproof, at least for the most part. I just got done doing the first wash, and one of the things that I want to do, even before I bought this car, I had ideas of doing this, is I want to switch out the wheels. I like these Kraggers, they're really sweet, but I picked up these wheels here that I think are going to look even better. I think a lot of you guys are going to like them too. They're way more classic, super, super old school. You see them on not just Fords, you know, they had them on Mopars and they had them on Chevys too. I just think it's just the right look, man. I got some 15x7s. I think these came off of a 71 Mustang originally. They actually have the Ford stamp on them. We got the BF Goodrich radial TAs on there. These things, I don't know, man. I just think they look awesome. They came with the Mustang center caps and even little Mustang valve stem caps, and they're in really good shape. This one I think is the only one that has a little bit of a dent right there, but that can be fixed. The rest of it is in really good shape. The tires have great tread. All of them have the center caps and everything. They look really nice. There's actually wax on them. I don't know if you guys can see, so these can actually probably be polished up to look even nicer. They were a little bit dusty. I just washed them off, and if you get close you can see the pockets where it's like this kind of, I don't know if that's originally a gloss black or a matte black, but you can see there's some touch-up paint. I would like to sand all of the pockets and then repaint those and kind of just polish up the rest, and then they'll really look like brand new. I'm honestly so excited that I want to get these things on there and see what they look like. But before we put them on, I do want to see if we can brighten up the white lettering. I really like that look. It's one of the reasons that I picked these tires and wheels. And I have something, my pop actually had it here sitting for probably like decades to clean those white walls. It's supposed to make them like really bright. Man, these wheels are kind of heavy. I wonder if we're going to be gaining weight here. This is the stuff right here. It's called Wesley's bleach white. And let's see, it says corrosive, can cause burns, contains sodium metasilicate and sodium orthosilicate, harmful if swallowed, do not get on skin or clothing, avoid breathing vapor or mist. This stuff probably works really good though because it's old. And a lot of times the old stuff works really good because there were like no regulations. And here it is, man. It was like 1996 it was made. Jeez. Well, I guess let's see if it works. It says in there to spray, put it in a spray bottle and then just spray it on, let it sit for a couple minutes. So I have this, it's a hairspray thing that was used up. Just put a little bit in there, and I guess we'll see if this works. So that's too much, or I don't even know what's going on. It's been about a minute and I can see where it's pooling. It's getting dark. So I think it actually is taking some color out of these things. I'm gonna go ahead with this brush. Oh, I think it is working. We'll know when we rinse this thing off, but I think it is bringing the color out. It's supposed to be good for the black on the tires too. It's just like for tires in general, it's supposed to bring the color back to looking like brand new. Give it a little rinse here. Oh, wow. It looks pretty damn good. I'm gonna blow this off. It says to do it dry in the instructions, and just do a second coat, see if we can make it even brighter. It definitely makes a difference. This is the side that I didn't do. If you come over here, you can see it's a good bit brighter. It's not like super brand new white. The BF Goodrich is definitely brighter than where it says Radial TA. Old stuff for the win. I'm gonna go around and do the other side here, and I'll do all the other wheels on my own.
With the white walls looking good, the next step is to clean up these pockets. I took my small Dremel with mini wire wheels, and the black finish came off pretty easily. So I don't know if somebody had touched these up at some point in time and didn't prep the wheel, but the finish would have worn off probably really quickly if I didn't do this.
Really mustn't have been adhered to the, I think this is nickel plating in here, because it came like right off in a lot of these areas, and then in other spots it's stuck. So basically, you know, any of those spots where it's barely sticking on there, you're only going to stick as good as that bottom layer is stuck to whatever the metal finish is. So quite a bit of time prepping that. I'm going to have to clean that, and then we're going to paint the pockets. I'm going to do it by brush, and it's probably going to be pretty tedious, but is it going to be worth it? I think so. So I still have to do all of these wheels, dude. From far away, you're probably like, why the heck are you even wasting your time? But when you get close, you can see the little imperfections and stuff. And I think it's just having them look like brand new is just gonna be so nice. Well, about an hour and a half later, and there they are. They were really inconsistent. This one, you can see like there's still a good bit of the black on there. But then like if you come over here, a little bit more came off of this one. And this one in the back was the worst. Like almost all the black just came right off of that really easily too. So I scuffed them all up, and it should adhere this paint pretty good. I've just got a black outdoor Rust-Oleum paint. This stuff is really good. When I used to work on forklifts, when we would recondition them, we would use this paint. It's really good for outdoor, just like lasts a really long time. It's gonna be slow and tedious with these little paint brushes and just paint these pockets. A lot of time and patience went into this, but man, these things look excellent, dude. I would definitely say that the juice is worth the squeeze with this, man. These pockets look like brand new. Pretty clean up here. There was a little bit from the old stuff. It looks like somebody had repainted these at some point in time, another time, and there was a little bit left up there, but it looks really good. I'm gonna throw a quick thing of polish on the wheels just to kind of protect them. And I figure I'll put some tire shine on them while they're up on the table, make it nice and easy, and then I gotta move on, and I got 3 more of these to do. Gonna be using this Mother's Magnet aluminum polish. You can get the stuff at Walmart pretty cheap. And it, not so much for the shining aspect, because these are already really, really shiny, but it is supposed to be a protectant as well. And I just don't want these things, we don't wanna lose this finish. So I'm just gonna go around, put a thin bit on. You don't really need to do too much with this stuff, especially when, you know, we don't really need to polish these. Next, I'm gonna put some of this Meguiar's Endurance tire gel on. This stuff is pretty good. This stuff can be a major pain in the ass on, especially with the big ass sidewalls. I found these on Amazon. They're super cheap. I wanna say it was like $8 for like 6 of these. They kind of degrade and fall apart quickly, so they send you a whole bunch of them. But you can do at least like 1 or 2 jobs with one of these foams. So it's like only a couple bucks, and it really makes it a lot easier. I'll probably put like 2 coats of this. I'm just doing it up here on the bench because it makes it a lot easier than when it's on the car. And last but not least, got the Mustang center caps. These things are pretty hefty, man. They're not like cheap plastic ones. I don't know if these are original or if they're reproduction, but they're really nice. Nice. All right, there they are. Looks pretty legit. I put it next to this one with the pockets still need to be painted and all, but these things are gonna look really, really nice. So I just gotta finish up the other 3, and then let's get them on the car, see what they look like. Well guys, these things came out absolutely beautifully. So to boost these things up, I've actually got these brand new quick jacks. My pop picked these up for me when I was doing the Corvette project, and I never got to use them. So it's basically 2 hydraulic stands, and I guess they'll go up under the frame rails. You can see they've got these rubber blocks. I guess you move these, you know, wherever is the right spot underneath the car. And then you got these hoses over here. They run up here to the pump, and then right here, there's a switch. Pretty sweet. So should make the job a lot easier. Dude, this is awesome. I did not expect that these jacks were gonna lift this car up this high. A little bit of a pain getting them set up, probably just because it's the first time doing it, but I would definitely say that it's worth it. Alrighty. There are the wheels next to each other. You can see the new radial TAs. They're about an inch taller. I actually measured them. It looks a lot bigger, but they're about an inch taller. I know some people are going to be a little salty that we're taking the Craigers off, but I do think that the Magnum 500s just looks so good. And you know, I'm basically obligated to do this. We got to put them on the scale of doom and see if we're gaining or losing weight. I have a feeling that we're going to be gaining here, but they're both steel wheels. Ugh. It's okay though. This is for looks more than anything. We'll have to try to get an approximation here because it's trying to roll. This is about 51.25 pounds. So 51.25. And the Magnum is, oh, it's lighter. 47, basically 47.25. So actually we'll be losing a couple pounds on each corner. That's rotating mass. This should fill out the wheel well a little bit more than those Craigers. The guy that I bought these from, these were on a 68 fastback, and they looked really nice. Looks pretty good. It looks right. Oh, that looks really good. This is definitely the look that I was going for. Super old school. I can't wait to see it when it's down on the ground with the suspension, you know, back to normal. But it definitely is going to look really good. So I think my plan now is to get up under here. And I think we've got control arms, just like on a four-wheeler, where I can break them loose. I'll make the steering wheel as straight as I can. And it can't get much worse than it is right now. So we'll just see if we can straighten that alignment out. All right, I think I've got the alignment good, but just like with anything aftermarket, I've discovered little rub marks in here. It sounded like the tires were hitting the inner fenders, and we pinpointed it to here. The rest of the tire, like as far as the fender and everything, there's plenty of clearance. And then, you know, if you come in here, you could see some rub marks here and here. And I think this is actually, I only went around the block, and it's contacting the tire. You could see it when it was on there. And if you look, you can see the line on the inside of the tire. It's just above the rim. That's where that was hitting. And I looked at the other side. The other side actually has a different upper control arm. I don't know if one of these was replaced at some point in time with an aftermarket. And the other one has like a rolled lip, and I guess it's tighter in. There's no rubbing on the other side. So I'm gonna come in here and just shave maybe 1/8 of an inch off, maybe a little bit more, just to get a little bit more clearance, because, you know, clearly you can see, I bet you on the back of those Cragar rims there's a little bit of scar, and also because there's no way that the tire would gouge them like that. Well, unfortunately, we're still getting a little bit of contact, just a little bit, because the tire, I mean, it's possible that there's a hair in there, but it's too close for my comfort. So luckily they do make wheel spacers. I just looked them up and ordered some 6 inches, or 6 millimeters, which is about 1/4 of an inch. And I'll just put that on all 4 corners. But, you know, with old stuff like this, especially, there's been a lot of modifications done to this car. It's just the kind of stuff that you run into. You know, there's really no telling what kind of work was done to this car previously. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for those wheel spacers, I'll paint the section that we just cut off so it doesn't rust. Well, 2 days later, we've got our wheel spacers. You can see what our grind job looks like. Can't even really tell anything happened there. Here is the spacers. They are made for 5x4.5 and 5x4.75, and they're 6 millimeters thick. So this will give us just enough room. They just sit on there like so, and we throw the wheel on. Super easy, and I do plan to do all 4 corners because it would just be weird if we only did the front. Okay. I don't feel any resistance. All right, let's see what we got going on. Oh yeah, we got plenty of clearance now. I don't know if you guys can see up there. That's where it was rubbing up against the tire. It's kind of hard to tell from the camera angle, but I can see we've got plenty of space in between there. Now I've just got to do the same thing the other 3 wheels, and we can test this thing out, see if I did a half decent job with my alignment. Probably not. Not sure if it's just me or if it's because I know that the spacers are on there, but I feel like it looks different. Like it looks like it's wide. It's only 6 millimeters on each side. So the whole car has a footprint of about 12 millimeters wider than it was originally. You can see the tires are still tucked under the fender. I think it's just in my head, but you know, it is 12 millimeters wider. So technically this is a performance mod. It should handle better. I would say probably just as good as like a $1,500 suspension upgrade. You know, just putting those wheel spacers in there. It's the exact same thing.
There's one other thing I want to do, and that is switch out the mufflers. I've got this brand new pre-owned, well it actually is brand new, Borla Pro XS. And yes, I opened up this one without you guys. I'm sorry. You know, let me live. All right, well, we'll open up this one together though. Oh man, what do we have here? Well, we know what we have here. It's a muffler because, well, I showed you guys. But it's not just any muffler. These things are supposed to be one of the best. Of course, exhaust is kind of subjective. Let's see. It's time to lead the herd. Leave the rest of those bozos behind. Borla exhaust. This is brand new. Direct from Borla. And dude, these are really nice. They're all stainless steel, and if I can do this without bumping into the camera here, it is a straight through design. It has like kind of an S curve in there. What we're switching out is, I looked underneath, they are Flowmaster 40 series. The Flowmaster 40 series definitely give it that kind of like classic raspy, almost like tinny muscle car sound. I don't know how else to put it. It's a chambered muffler, if I'm not mistaken, the Flowmaster is. And the straight through design is supposed to have the least amount of drone. That they had a really good drone rating, because that's what I noticed when, you know, I bought this car to drive. And when you're cruising in it, it does have quite a bit of drone and like resonance in the interior, especially when you're just cruising at like a consistent RPM. And I think these will fix that. I don't know though, but we're just gonna find out. But I did look at some sound clips of these Pro XS mufflers on 5.0 Mustangs, and they sound pretty good. Alrighty, first person view. I'll bring you on under here, and I'll show you what's going on. We got these old crappy exhaust clamps on here. They're not that bad though. Like this nut here looks pretty new, and as you can see, I've got some PB Blaster already soaking on them. Hopefully they'll come off no problem, but I've learned in the past that exhaust can be a pain in the ass to get off, especially because I didn't even notice, but this side is actually on the lift. We'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm already foreseeing a problem. I got these nice stainless steel band clamps here, but because the pipe curves pretty much immediately, I think on both sides, I'm not sure we're gonna be able to use these. I guess time will tell. Well guys, the darkness has rolled in and completely stolen my thunder, but that's okay because I've got a plan of action here. The one side, that left side over there, is like really seized. This side has a little bit of play in it, but I figured since it's dark, what I did is I took some PB Blaster, the WD-40 version of it anyways, and put it right on the portions of the muffler that are contacting the tailpipe. And hopefully, if that sits in overnight, that should loosen it up a little bit easier. I've learned in the past to work harder, not smarter. Smarter, not harder. And, you know, hopefully tomorrow, the exhaust will just fall off. Yeah, probably not. All right, man, I woke up today feeling good. Got the safety glasses on. Ready to get this exhaust off. I have a good feeling, man. I have a 2x4 here, the sledgehammer, and some safety gloves, man. We need those. And I think I can smash this damn exhaust off. Let's see what happens. All right, the oil didn't do what I wanted it to do, and this thing is not want to come off. But one thing I definitely don't want to do is damage this fairing under here. I started hitting against the exhaust, and it's already, you can see, made a little chip there. So we don't want to continue doing that. I think what I might be able to do though, I think if I take the clamps off on the opposite side, I might, if those ones are loose, because see the thing with that is then we can actually hit against these flat portions of the muffler, or at least coming from the other side. I think we can get it off by doing that, and then we'll have the muffler and the tailpipe. Once we have that out from the car, I think I'll be able to separate that a little bit easier. There's really only one way to find out, but I'm definitely trying to get this done ASAP because there's somebody that I want to show the car to today. So we've got to get it done in like 2 hours. All right, guys, plan C is to remove the bolts from the mid pipe, and we'll see if we can get the whole damn thing out. If I can fish it over the axle. These things are not budging, dude. I'm smashing it with the sledgehammer. It's really difficult to get good leverage for a good swing under here. Even with these jack stand lift things, it's kind of difficult to get a good swing. All right, guys, plan D. The exhaust does not fit out the back without taking off these mid pipes. I think though, if we take out the drive shaft, we'll gain a little bit more space, and I think we can get at least this passenger side out, and hopefully we can do the same thing with the driver's side. But, you know, it might seem like a pain in the ass taking out the drive shaft, but, you know, it's really not that big of a deal. And I did notice there's a little bit of play, it feels like, in that side. And that might have to do with some of our vibration under power. So I don't think that play is a good thing. So maybe it's a good thing that we have to take that drive shaft out, and we'll take a better look at it. Well, guys, what started out as a quick muffler swap has turned into a job where I think we need to pull the transmission. So I'm gonna do my best to show you here. This is on the end going into the rear. I don't think you guys are gonna be able to see it, but you see, there's actually play. I know that, you know, there's a little bit of play on the whole thing, but I do believe there is play. I can feel it in the little bearing caps that go on the end. That is definitely loose, and here is what makes me think we might have to pull the transmission. I don't know if this bearing in the back can be replaced without taking the transmission out. There's like really bad play. You can see it there. The whole shaft is going up and down in the transmission, and this car vibrates really bad under load, I noticed, and I bet you that's why. So this should come out. I'm gonna replace the U-joints on both sides. This side I don't feel any play, but I might as well replace both sides while it's out. You know, that's just life, dude. When you're working on old cars, or really any car, that's just how it works out, man. But right here in this box, I've got a brand new Ram clutch and flywheel, so it's really not that big of a deal. I just didn't want to be doing all this work right now. I really wanted to enjoy the car because, as you can see, man, it's like almost mid-September now, and it's almost 80 degrees out. We've had a beautiful summer, so I kind of wanted to do, you know, the heavier stuff like in the wintertime, but we'll just get it done now. I may see if I can contract a buddy with a lift. It might be a little bit easier doing the transmission up on the lift. Otherwise, you know, I might just do it right here on these lifts. It is possible to be done. I've done transmissions on like floor jacks and jack stands, so it can definitely be done. But if we could get a lift, man, that'd be legit. You know, it's funny. I wouldn't exactly call myself a perfectionist, but I think for anybody that's, you know, into wrenching and stuff, it's real easy to take on a project and you can't just do one thing. Every little problem that you see, it's like you just gotta fix everything. And a small project turns into a huge project. And what I'm doing right now is marking on the transmission or the drive shaft and all of these other components where exactly it is right now in rotation, so that I can put it back in the exact orientation that it is right now. Okay, I'm gonna let this lay just in case some oil comes out of the transmission. Oh, geez. This is definitely needs to be replaced pretty badly. Good thing we put that pan there. Drive shaft is out. Oh man, this thing is ruined. Well, we definitely found a source of one of our, at least one of the sources of our vibrations. Look at the end of that U-joint, and here's the cup that's supposed to have bearings in it, needle bearings. They're just mashed to nothing. So that, look at that. This is definitely an issue. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's good we had to take this off. Man, that thing is whack. All right, let's see if we can get this exhaust system off. And then I would call this day a win, because we found some issues, man. Diagnosis is like 80% of the battle. We're also leaking gas. Oh my God. Frame off restoration, my ass. Yeah, I think we got it. I think we've got it. Uh-oh, we're hitting the jack stand. Are you serious? What the hell? There we go. We're so close. Oh, I think we got it. All right, the exhaust is out. Oh, it's out. At least this side is. Dude, I need a lift like so bad. Ooh, I think we got it. The jack stand is actually in the way. All right, I got this. Save yourself the hassle and just spend a little bit more money after somebody else did all this bullshit. Oh, you know, I really thought we had it there for a minute. Come on, you Oh, this thing might actually have to be cut off. Oh my God. Oh my God, I think we might have it. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's not easy. Whew. It's like a freaking, one of those things in the dentist office. Whew. Oh, son of a bitch. Whew. All right, man, there's our exhaust. Looks like a custom built exhaust. The welds aren't horrible, but I'm kind of conflicted here on just swapping out the entire freaking system. You can see the Borla would pretty much be a direct swap. It should fit in there, no problem. I know, you know, beggars can't really be choosers here. I don't know if it makes sense to be swapping out the whole exhaust. You know how it goes, man. It's like, well, we're here, we might as well just fix it right and replace it, because, you know, I could even scuff this system up and put like a nice silver heat paint on it or something to prevent the rust. Is it really worth it? I don't know. And it's not a mandrel bent system. These kinks are actually pretty, I don't know. It doesn't really matter for this car. It's not like super high performance, but I don't even know. We might even have some leaks in this exhaust. I don't know. So I think for right now, I may put the drive shaft back in and then put the car down just so that we can move it around. I'm gonna head over to my buddy's house and see if maybe we can get the lift situation figured out, and then take it from there, and I'll decide what I'm gonna do with the exhaust. I just don't know. I might just fix the stuff that we have to fix, put this exhaust back on with the Borlas, and you know, we can address it another time. It's just, yeah, so let me know in the comment section below about your projects that turned from a 15-minute project into a probably week-long project for, for this one.
Well, guys, I ordered up some parts, and what we've got here on the table should get all those wiggles out of the drive shaft. So the play at the tail shaft of the transmission where the front of the drive shaft goes, I am almost certain is from having the bushing has gone bad in there. And then this is a new seal. I did see the drips leaking down. I think that's a really common spot for that that issue to happen. And I've also got a really cool tool in here to install that. I'll show you in a second. And then these are just some Moog universal joints. They're the same front and rear. I'm just gonna go ahead, even though the front one doesn't seem to be too bad, we're gonna go replace both of them. These are fairly inexpensive. I think these were 22 bucks a piece. So we'll go ahead and replace those. That should take care of the drive shaft itself, and then this should take care of the transmission. So this is the special thing right here though, man. This is a special sauce, because apparently a lot of people, they replace these bushings and seals and they just kind of hammer them in place, and that's why they notoriously leak. So they have a seal installer and remover. This is the installer. I believe this, I don't know how this works, but you know, this will actually push the seal in place without damaging it. And then this, the way this works, I'll actually, let's test it out together. This is in theory, because you know, a lot of times things just don't work the way they're supposed to. But I think this is supposed to slide. Let's just say this is in the tail shaft, and I guess this has to be pushed all the way in, and that kind of, when this is out, these little fingers are compressed. So that will allow this to slide in the shaft, or the bushing, come through the other side, and then you pull this lever, and that opens up and spreads the fingers so that you can pull this out. And it's got a threaded bolt on the inside that should push right up against the splined shaft, and then as you thread this in, it should pull the old bushing right out. Now again, that's in theory. I'm sure any of us who have done any kind of wrenching know that a lot of times things just don't go to theory. So this might be a huge pain in the ass, but with this tool, we shouldn't have to take the transmission out or anything. We should be able to do it right underneath the car. Let's try it out. All right, this job just got exponentially harder for me because you guys are on the side that I have easier access, but that's okay. I think I can get it from up here. That's how much I love you guys. This is gonna be a messy job, man. We're kind of angled backwards on the driveway, so unfortunately the fluid is running out of the transmission, and I'm sure as we pop that seal out, a good bit more is going to want to flow right out into my face. It's okay. I greased this up. Hopefully that'll help it slide in place easier. I think that's in place. I don't know. I guess we could just try to start wrenching on this and see if it pulls the bushing out. Luckily the H pipe is in the way, so I can't get my wrench in there. Me. All right, let's see what happens. That tool spins. This is gonna take a while. All right, enough of these freaking hand tools. All right, well, it didn't pull out the seal or the bushing. I don't think we like activated it. Me, man, are you serious? The inner portion of the tool, it's like stuck in there. Dude, oh, what the It'll be easy, they said. You know, this whole damn shaft actually wiggles up and down. Oh, dude, the transmission mount's broken too. So many surprises.
Ah, yes, bastard. After doing some reading on forums, a little bit of play in this output shaft is normal. So, as we all know, information on forums is always 100% correct. Second attempt is a charm. Right. Last time I couldn't get this tab to come out. That spreads the fingers. Oh, it came out. It's on there. All right. That's actually pretty nifty. Yep. Holy shit. We're getting there. Oh man, the fact that the whole damn bushing goes in so easy is kind of weird. Okay, that's in there. Okay, now I just gotta tap this in place. All right, I managed to get the seal tapped in place pretty easily. I had this sleeve that fit over top, tapped right around the edges. So the tail shaft bushing and seal are good to go. The seal is actually quite a bit nicer than the one that came off. The other one was kind of flat flush. It didn't have this nice extension here. So hopefully that won't leak and we'll fix that issue. This is what's going on with the transmission mount. I guess for now we're just gonna leave that, but I definitely will have to replace that. I won't be doing too much driving until I get that swapped out. But we can still get the drive shaft in. You know, nothing in the world can be easy. I think swapping these things out really isn't that difficult, but I just discovered I've got the wrong freaking U-joints. If you have a look at these bastards, they're a little bit too long. So they're actually bigger than these U-joints. I assumed that this was out of, the whole drivetrain from what I was told was out of a 93 Mustang, so I figured that this was the 93 Mustang drive shaft, but evidently not, and I couldn't see a part number on the other side. So we'll remove these, and the good thing about car parts is it's not like the quads and bikes. Most of this stuff I can get at the local auto parts store, so we won't have to freaking wait like 10 years for this stuff. All right, I got both of my U-joints off. Gonna take one of these to the auto store, make sure that we match it up the right way. I did look, and it says that this part number, this NP2550, is for the 86 to 93 Mustang. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with these Moog ones I ordered. I actually looked up this part number, and it says that it fits the Mustang also. So I don't know, maybe the wrong U-joints in there, not sure. I'm also gonna see if they have another one of these bad boys, because even though this doesn't look terrible, it does have some wear on it, and I know that if this is not in spec, it can make the bushing go bad and the seal go bad. So if this is fairly inexpensive and they have these, I'm just going to get a new one. All right, guys, we made it back. We've got our U-joints. Oddly enough, the ones for the automatic fit. So I don't know, but these are the proper size. So we're going to go ahead and throw them in. I already cleaned out the pockets where the bearings go. And there's one other thing I want to do. I was not able to get a new one of these, so I'm just going to clean this off and polish it just in case there's any small scratches or anything. I think it's actually in pretty nice shape. We just don't want that new bushing and seal to go bad right away. All right, I'll hit this first with the soft wire wheel, and then I'll finish it off with the buffing wheel. All right, well, it ain't exactly beautiful, but it's a lot better than it was. And it feels really nice and smooth, so I think we'll be good. I just got to put the new joints in, and these ones do have greasable zerks, which is pretty nice. All right, now I just got to do the other side,
And the drive shaft will be good to go in.
So the drive shaft went in pretty much without a hitch, and it is nice and tight. We definitely had to replace those U-joints and that tail shaft bushing. But unfortunately, getting the exhaust apart was not as easy. It was a painstaking 2 hours smashing away on this thing with the sledgehammer, using the torch and just brute strength. My method was to take the old U-clamps and wrap them around the exhaust pipes and then beat against the U-clamps, which did destroy them, but that's okay because we've got nice new clamps to use instead. Once I got the pipes apart, I used an angle grinder with a Scotch-Brite wheel to clean up the fittings, and I put some anti-seize on them so that hopefully the new mufflers won't get stuck in place, because we will be taking the system off because we're going to have to drop that transmission soon. And then I had to use a cutoff wheel to get off those clamps because the threads were completely destroyed from beating on them with a sledgehammer. And now it's just about time to get this system on, but we've got to do something else first.
All right, we're about to put the exhaust on, all cleaned up, ready to go. But there's one last thing I want to do. Before we put that on there, I feel like we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't fire this thing up and see what it sounds like without any exhaust. I really don't want to be that asshole in the neighborhood, but then I realized I'm a Mustang owner. We've got to do this. Doing that thing when you first started up. I'm surprised it's not dying, but my God, it sounds like a boat. All right, I'm gonna stop torturing the neighbors. Oh man, it sounds terrible. Man, that was not a pleasant experience putting that exhaust on, but I'm kind of excited. We got to see what this thing sounds like. Gonna have to top off the transmission fluid, or at least check the level, because we lost a little bit pulling the drive shaft out. But we can fire it up, no problem. It's definitely quieter than it was before. Let's see if it actually idles. It's still doing that thing. It'll do this for like 3 to 5 minutes. Sounds good, dude. All right, I think we're good now. It's definitely quieter, but you can definitely hear the cam too, which is really important to me. I'll show you guys from far away. As we walk away, you'll hear it's a lot quieter than it was before. Back here, it's like really quiet. Oh yeah, that's perfect, man, because, you know, being rowdy's cool, but it's nice when you can fire it up and, you know, leave the neighborhood without disturbing the peace, and then once you get on the main road, you can open it up a little bit. I'm happy with it. All right, guys, it's the next day. Let's take her for a little cruise and see what it sounds like inside. I'm really curious to see if that shutter in the driveline is fixed from the U-joint. All right, we got the windows closed. It is significantly quieter in here. I can actually hear myself. I already let it warm up, so we don't have to do the little surge thing that it does in the beginning. If anybody knows what that is, please let me know in the comment section below.
We gotta open up the windows, man. It is definitely quieter though. Still has that good rumble, but it is a lot quieter. And I'm not feeling anything coming through the steering wheel, which is awesome. Huge relief, because it was like vibrating my teeth out of my head, dude. It's a lot smoother. I think that may even have something to do with, it might help a little bit with the drivability. I do think the clutch still needs to be switched out. And I think also a tune is in order. If you guys saw in the revving, this thing smokes a good bit. I just don't think it's tuned properly. Maybe it needs piston rings, who knows? But I've driven cammed cars before. I don't think I've ever had one that's this like difficult to drive down low and shift. Only when you're going slow. When you start driving the car hard, it's beautiful. But any kind of like trolling in a parking lot or whatever, this car is really difficult. So, dude, I can't believe how quiet it is in here. It almost sounds like it has stock exhaust right now. I don't hear anything. I'm looking at the RPM gauge to make sure it's still on. And the downshifting is way quieter. You guys even hear that? It's almost disappointing. It was kind of nice before, but let's get on it. Oh, dude, no shutters in the Driveline. This is beautiful. I bet you we could even do a burnout without having the rear end go all over the place. I'm not going to do it though, because we still have to swap out that transmission mount, and I got to look at the motor mounts too, because if the transmission mount went bad, it's kind of likely that the motor mounts could be bad too. So we'll check all that stuff out, but I think we did really good. The car is drivable now. It's a lot more enjoyable. Sounds good. The neighbors won't be as mad. You guys let me know what you think of the mods that we did in the section below. And if you've got, like I said, if you know or have any idea of why it does that surge thing for 5 freaking minutes in the beginning, please let me know. I'm planning on doing an entirely different intake. Looking at the Edelbrock Pro Flow. It's an EFI system, but it looks factory, which is really cool. And I'd also like to get a good set of high-flowing heads for this thing. But both of those things together are probably going to be like close to $5,000. So that will come in time. If there's something I can do to fix that surge thing in the meantime, that would be awesome. So until then, guys, I love you all. Thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Dude, I don't know if you guys could see that, but the back end actually like slid out pretty nicely. Whenever I would try to do that before, it would bounce. So I think it was those U-joints, dude. Awesome.